And welcome to Sugar Talk with Dr. K. Lucas from Diabetes and Endocrinology Consultants. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
Good morning, I'm great.
Well, we were just talking about the Thanksgiving feast, and so we were saying that maybe one of the things we could do is just take a good walk in between courses.
Yes, you could do the turkey strut. Do the turkey strut in between the houses. After every course, walk around the block multiple times.
Yeah, well, it's not a bad thought, though, really, because that's what we're going to talk about today, right? Exercise.
We're going to talk about exercise. We're talking about preventing diabetes, since this is Diabetes Awareness Month, not Diabetes Month, which means don't get diabetes this month, but just be aware of the problem and the ever-growing problem of diabetes in the world.
And some of the things that we can do about it as well.
Yes, because if you know you're going to get diabetes, or you know you have a tendency to get diabetes, or it's in your family, then you really want to try to not get it. I mean, people say, well, it's inevitable. It's not. I really don't believe that at all. Now with the new medications we have and what we're finding out about diabetes, that actually type 2 diabetes we're talking about sort of wears out your pancreas over time. So if you can do anything to help the pancreas not have to make as much insulin, then your pancreas is going to live longer. And that just makes sense to me, at least.
All right, so let's talk about the exercise part of that.
So what exercise does is makes you use sugar without needing insulin. So if you don't need insulin, if you're burning up sugar without needing insulin, then your pancreas doesn't have to work as hard, and it doesn't wear out as quick.
So is the operational thing like that? I mean, you intake sugar, and if you go and exercise, you'll burn it off before your pancreas finds out?
Well, the sugar's stored in the muscle, so you do release sugar from the muscle as you exercise. But later, up to 24 hours later, the muscle has to replace all the stored sugar it has. It has glycogen stores, which are sugars strung together. And so it replaces the glycogen, the sugar, by pulling sugar out of your body and putting it back in the muscle for the next time. So that's one way. There's lots of ways. One is you do burn a few calories, although you can't count on that. If you're going to eat desserts and ice cream and stuff like that, you can't really count on it making up for that.
Right.
By putting in calories, but it does burn calories. It makes you lose abdominal fat, and we had talked about abdominal fat before as being the bad fat, not the ones in the waist, but inside your body, around your organs, around your heart, the bad fat. So that's the genetic problem, is you accumulate fat in there. So if you exercise, that helps burn the fat inside your body as well. That's why doing sit-ups doesn't really
do it. That's
lower your. I mean, it may increase your muscle in your abdominal wall.
Right.
It may not take away any inches from your belly. So that's why you have to exercise more. You have to do aerobic exercise, not just toning exercises to get that abdominal fat go on. So that's another way. The other way that exercise helps is it helps you sleep better, makes you feel better. You're more likely not to go to food as a source of comfort.
Right.
You go to exercise, and I keep telling people that instead of reaching for the donut, go walk around the block, or if you're upset at work, go take around the block.
So exercise is a stress relief.
It is stress relief, and if you can relieve stress, you help not accumulate belly fat too. It also lowers your blood pressure, lowers your cholesterol. You don't have to take as many medicines. It saves a lot of money that way if you don't have to take a lot of medicine. But we tend to focus on food for all kinds of events, all the holidays and things like that.
Sure.
And even socially, like if you go out to eat with somebody, I mean, that's the social event. You need to take them for a walk. I mean, that's one of the suggestions is like have a family walk and have that as your tradition at Thanksgiving after your meal, and not eat as much for your meal so you don't feel as all sleepy and, watch TV, watch football. You just go out for a walk after eating, and that certainly helps. It helps keep your insulin from being released as much too if you walk within an hour of eating, because that's when the highest blood sugar is, and that's when you have to make more insulin, is during that hour when you're absorbing your food.
Okay, so that's a good time then. After.
It's a good time to walk. I mean, I don't think I would go marathon running right after you finish eating, because your intestines need the blood flow, so you don't want to restrict blood flow. But walking certainly does not restrict blood flow. There's plenty of blood floating around that you could go walk after eating.
Now, a lot of people say, as far as getting started exercising, that are overweight, and they say they have, it hurts to walk. It's painful.
Well, for sure, because if you think about people that are real overweight, I mean, their poor knees take beating, and you wear away the cartilage. And that's one problem over time. That's why you really want to start as early as possible before you get arthritis, the wear and tear arthritis of your knees, because if you can't support your weight on your knees, like for walking, you have trouble. In that case, people go to some type of water exercises to try to support their weight, and the movement helps. Unfortunately, water exercises are not as good for weight loss. They help a lot of other things. They help your heart rate and your heart in general, and your cholesterol and your blood pressure and stress. So it still helps, but doesn't tend to let you burn fat because you're not burning anything because you're cold. You're in water.
Right.
So you stay cooled off. Anytime you stay cooled off, you're not going to burn as many calories. But it's good for the rest of your body. And maybe that's all you can do. Now, some people can do bikes, recumbent bikes, where you sort of lay back and put your legs up a little bit so it takes pressure off your back and off your knees. So anything that supports your weight like that type of exercise usually you can do. And sometimes you just need to walk a little bit at a time. So you can walk 10 minutes after every meal. That's 30 minutes a day. They have the Fitbit and the other, pedometer type trackers about how many steps you do, because it's not just the exercise you do at one time that matters. It's how active you are all day that matters. And that's why the little trackers are getting very popular, because people do walk around. Of course, you wear it on your wrist, and if you move your arm around a lot, it's going to track that. But anyway, some people put it on their shoe.
False reading, on that.
But if you move your arm when you walk, then it's going to track that.
Actually, even a lot of phones have step meters in them now,
yes.
and you can even check your heart rate.
Yeah, there's no excuse. So. There's no excuse for not being able to track it. But if you track your steps per day, then you can add more to it. So it's not just that you have to go to the gym and work out, it's that you have to move around. And if you don't move at all, you do get stiffer. Your joints are going to get stiffer, and it's going to hurt at first to do something. So just to add a little bit of time, even 5 minutes walking around the house or doing some kind of activity after eating helps.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about that too in just a moment here on Coastal Daybreak. And Sugar Talk brought to you by Diabetes and Endocrinology Consultants. They're online at beachdoctor.com. We're talking about diabetes and exercise. So, the question comes up, do I need to go to a gym for this, or is this around the block? Is that good enough?
Yeah, there's a lot of gym memberships that really peak in January.
That's right.
And fade by March. Although I've noticed there's more cars at the Sports Center through the whole year, so that's encouraging. You don't have to go. Yeah, you don't have to go anywhere. Some people don't like other people seeing their body. I'm one of them. I'd just rather do it at home. So there's a lot of DVDs, exercise DVDs. There's programs on TV for exercise. So if you want to do some kind of aerobic exercise or some kind of toning exercises, there's plenty around. But if you do go to the gym, you need to put a time in. You need to schedule a time. Like, I'm going to go at 5:30 every morning. I'm going at 6. Or if you go to a class at the gym, and it's always good to have somebody else you can go with, but don't depend on that person. If that person can't go that day, you still need to go. So what you do is aim for some type of exercise every day of the week, because you're going to slide. You're not going to do it every single day. But if you don't aim for every day, then if you aim for 3 days a week, you might do 1 day a week. So if you aim for 7 days a week, you'll probably do 5 or 4. You're going to get more days in where you actually go somewhere and do something. Now, if you're just increasing your activity every day, that counts too. So if you're parking further away, walking up the stairs instead of taking the elevator, or just walking around more in general, being less efficient, putting back one thing at a time rather than putting back a whole bunch of stuff at a time, that really helps. So you can have an exercise partner, but I've seen too many partnerships go away and the person stops exercising. So you have to be doing it for you, and you have to have a way of that you're going to do it by yourself if nobody else can do it with you. But I think having a group that you exercise with, like at work, a lot of people do it at work. They'll go walk for their lunch break. I think that helps, especially if you have a big group, so that a few people drop out.
Okay.
You'll still have some.
You can find out more at beachdoctor.com and find out more about what Diabetes and Endocrinology Consultants offers for you. Again, at beachdoctor.com, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, thanks.